Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Long time no see. Nowadays people develop a lot of dashboard every day. Seldomly they jump outside the box to think about the development flow. So today we're gonna talk about a development flow for the Power BI, which is Simplified. Let's jump right in. So first, you can see in the center of the flow we have a report PBX file. This is the local file where you develop all your data connections, modeling, and also visuals. You can see there are three components: Power Query, Data Model, and Reports pages. Power Query is mainly for your data preparations. You can see over here. Data Model is for your modeling relationship, develop measures, and Visual is where you deliver your final product to your customers. But before that, we need to think about your sources. So Power BI sources can be local files. You can see I have multiple files over here, so you can stack them together into a folder and get a Power Query connect to them. Also, you can mix with cloud connections. For example, cloud data warehouse, cloud databases. You can use Power Query connector to connect them. Once you have connected them, now is the stage to prepare data. When I say prepare data specific, we're talking about several actions over the data set. First, you may merge A table and B table and have them appended. Sometimes you need to transpose because the table you have is already pivot. So which means you can unpivot that. And sometimes you need to merge two things into one to create a fat table. And sometimes you just need to clean because there's some null values, misvalues, and misrepresentation of the truths. So you need to clean them. Once you have the Power Query, finish the data preparation. Next step is do the data model. Data model, mainly we have two stages. First, we're going to do the model relationships. We're saying we prepare a data model, which is like a snowflake or star schema. In this case, we have a star schema. In the center of the data is the fact table. This is your transactional table, which has the most granular data. Think about this, many rows in this table, where in your dimensional product table, it has only a limited amount because there's no duplicate value about a product, but your product can be appear many times in this fact table. So once you have this map, dime products mapping with the fact cells, dime region mapping with the fact cell, and dime Canada map with the fact cell, then your model is finished. Once you have this model finished, next step is we're going to develop some model calculations for the analytic purpose. If we dive into the fact cells table, you can see over here, we have some physical column which already in the fact table, which highlighting here. And also there's some like say hash sign. Those are the measures that we developed. Those are the measures that we're going to use in the visual later on. So you have them embedded into your fact cells, so you can drag and use them later on. And more particular, when you build up the label, you can see that the relationship between your region, dimensional region table and also fact table is based on the region key. Region key in the dimensional region table is going to be just one for each row, where the region key in the fact cells table can appear multiple times. That's why we have this golden rule, many to one relationship. And once we have this done, we're going to also be aware of the usage of those keys, for example, especially for the dimensional table in this dimensional region table. For the region key is more for the database. Unique identifier is going to use for the join and also index. Region code, you can see, is just a short name of the region name. So it's mainly for the reporting purpose, for filtering and categorization your report. And region name is just a human readable descriptive purpose. So just be aware of those concepts. Once you have the two-step ready, which means you have done the model for the relationship, you have done the model for the calculation, then the next step is develop construct visuals for the pages. So we're going to combine visuals with columns and measures. For simple, let's say you're going to develop, for example, in this case, it's a pivot table visual. In this pivot table visual, you have three key components, which what is your column, what is row, and what is your value. Once you drag this visual into a page, it will require to fit into those three categories. So the first one is for the region name and year, we're going to grab that from the dimensional table. Just be aware of that dimensional table you can see. The reason we have dimensional table because dimensional table has the complete list of region name, and dimensional Canada has a complete list of the year. That's why for those area you are gonna always using the dimensional table to house in the structure. Second, in the view section, you are actually gonna use the measure we develop over the fact cells table. In this case, we drag this calendar year cells into this value. In that way, you have successfully construct a visual for your customer. And also those dimensions you can add as a slicer to help the user to interact with this report. In the case where they choose 1 year or one region, they can see the calculation differently. So once you have repeated this process, have all the visual and slicers in your page, next step is push this to the workspace. In order to share your report, we're not talking about share this local file with an email attachment to your stakeholder. We're saying we're going to do the proper way to push this to a workspace. And in the workspace, we set up the permission for the users. For example, once you push into a workspace, there's several levels of access you can define. First, since you have built up a model, you can toggle the different permission access for different users. Sometimes you ask them to be able to write, sometimes build and read or reshare. And most end users are going to be comfortable with the access shared by a report. For example, they just need to read the report and interact with the report. The read for the report will be sufficient. Some other place you have, like say, a situation where you need a co-author. In the situation of co-author, you need to think about shared access for the workspace. So workspace, you have 4 different roles. Admin is whoever in charge of this workspace. Member is going to have a similar role as admin, but less they can delete items. Contributor is more like they can contribute to how this report being structured. Viewer is just they can see the item in the workspace. So depending on your situation, you have different levels of control for access to either the data model, the report, or the workspace. That's the whole flow about this Power BI development simplified workflow. If you want to have this at your disposal, just message me. I can send this picture to you so you can follow the simplified workflow to develop your own report. Okay, that's it. See you guys next time.